So we take the rice from the field that we've dried and we put it in a metal pan and we parch it. And the parching is just using dry heat to make sure that those enclosing husks are very brittle.
So we'd put that near the fire like you were showing us before.
Yeah, and just imagine it in a metal pan sitting over a bed of coals or something like that. And we do this for 20 to 30 minutes, just moving these, and we kind of toast the outside of it. Again, because these husks are a little bit flexible, but I want them brittle. And then we take our parched rice and we put it in this bucket that you see here. And traditionally natives would use a pit lined with a buckskin or a wooden bucket that may have been set in the ground, and they would essentially stand on top of all of this rice in the bucket, and they would use their feet to make this motion. Essentially the rice grain gets stuck against the buckskin and your foot strips away the husk. So it looks kind of funny, but in order to do this motion, I have to do this mashed potato dance. And it takes me, 30 minutes or so of dancing inside of this thing to strip all of those husks off. And the last step before I can eat it is then to separate all of those husks from the grains, and that's where winnowing comes in.
All right, tell us a little bit what winnowing looks like.
Yeah, there's a couple of different ways to do it, but just imagine all of this chaff and these grains all mixed together, and I'm going to put them in a container. And the simplest way to describe it, which is not necessarily what I always do, is just imagine a breeze and a bit of fabric or a hide that you could lay down, and if you poured this whole mixture onto that hide, all the chaff is very, very light, and the wind carries it away, and all the grains, which are heavier, fall in one spot. So you're using this very simple processing system to separate those two parts, and then the grains we collect up and we eat.
All right, and so then the volume of, say, this container here, and I mean, standing next to it, that's 2.5 feet tall at least.
This here, when it came in out of the field, weighed about 50 pounds.
All right, and now it weighs about?
Well, it lost about 10 to 15 pounds in drying, maybe as much as 20 pounds in drying, and then I'm going to lose a little bit more when all the husks are removed. In the end, the weight that it was in the field, I get almost half of that in finished rice. Yeah. So we gathered 150 pounds of rice from our spot in Maine this year, fresh from the field, and we're going to get about 70 of it in finished rice.
If somebody's listening to this and they're going, wow, that's a lot of work, well, and obviously the thing is that if you were going to buy this rice, you'd be working you'd be working to earn the Federal Reserve debt notes to buy it anyway.
That's right.
But the process of doing this, all this processing and harvesting, do you like doing it?
Well, absolutely, I do. I like the self-sufficiency of the whole thing, as I've explained before. The fact is I can go into the field, gather rice, and turn it into a food, and not many people can do that.
Yeah.
That gives me a calmness when we're hearing about all of the stuff going on and wondering about the security of food. I know that I have a nutrient-dense food that's available to me.
Right, and the quality of it is just so much nicer, isn't it? And then, so let's just have a look at that finished product here, because we had some rice there.
All of this stuff here, Daniel, is just a little bit of the finished rice. You'll notice some of the grains get broken. Mine aren't as pretty as what you get in the store because I haven't processed them to be extremely hard to survive and never break. But this is a jar that we have here of rice that is all set and ready to be cooked.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, we ate it last night, and I was so really impressed with it.
And just take a smell, and you'll notice the difference.